Welcome to a very special episode of Toy Teardown, where today we will be dissecting my friend, the Thing. It looks like Thing's having a lot of fun, but unfortunately for today, our fun's going to include screwdrivers and Stanley knives. Happy Halloween, ghouls! Mwahaha! This disembodied hand friend has always been my favorite character from the Addams Family, so I'm super excited to see what this toy can do. I discovered earlier it's got a little button on its side. Cool. That's like a little demo mode, but it's also got this really, really cool remote control, which has got a little hand on it. So it's obviously remote control technology, and let's see what it can do. I get turning around. Ready, sneak attack. Wonder if it can do my emails.
Subject. Let's knuckle down. Hi Wednesday. I need a hand. Thumbs up emoji.
That doesn't seem to be sneaking up on anyone. It's not particularly fast. So I wonder if I can pull it apart and see if I can make it faster. Give it a little speed boost. Let's do this. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is take off the skin. We've got a couple of screws in this bottom part here. Look at his hand. It's also made of this really kind of creepy feeling silicone, which I think has to do with friction. Otherwise it would slip around and it wouldn't move very well. So we've got these screws on the bottom. I'm going to pull these off. Cool. This is kind of creepy, trying to pull something apart that looks so much like a hand. Got this little flap at the top here, and it's got its off and on switch, as well as like a little charging port. All right, I'm just going to try and pull this over its fingers. How do they get this on? Yeah, that's not coming off. All right, time for the scissors. This feels really wrong. Hey. All right, I'll try these thumbs first. Yay! Look at this. I can't decide if it's more or less creepy like this. Definitely looks like they didn't have to make it flesh colored or beige underneath, but they did. I'm gonna test if it still works, so I'm gonna turn it back on. Oh, okay. It's a little bit faster, but I think also it's slipping, so I feel like the hand definitely did help to keep it steady. Cool. It's definitely a little bit more wobbly now. Another thing, it actually kind of looks like a really creepy elephant. Another thing I've noticed is this thing, right? And I originally thought that it was like a sensor of some sort, but it's actually just a weight. And it kind of makes sense as to how this is designed with this heavy part up the top. It's just to balance it. So this is just a counterbalance here so that it doesn't fall over. I think if this wasn't there, it would be too top heavy. So that's kind of cool. Oh, don't know what happened there. Is it broken? No. So what I've noticed actually is pretty interesting. I'm going to call them legs because they kind of look like legs. It's like the front right and the back left move at the same time. And then the front left and the back right move at the same time, which is basically how most animals, four-legged animals walk, except giraffes and camels who walk like this. And it's actually, I think, a balance thing. So this is actually a little bit more balanced, and it's a bit more realistic as well. But what I'm finding really interesting is how are they moving at separate times? So let's pull it apart a bit further to find out. All right, let's take this part off. It's just those two. Haha, cool. Oh, awesome. All right, so I did wonder this. What was interesting about it, I'm gonna turn it back on to show this, was that what I found interesting was that one went back and the other went forward, right? Like this. Super cool, and it does that because of these parts here. They're called linkage systems, which is basically a kind of simple mechanism. But I don't know which one's pushing which, so I'm gonna keep pulling it apart to find out. Part off. Cool. I don't know why that's creepy, but it is. Okay, there's our battery. Lithium ion, so that's a rechargeable battery. Oof, okay. It's 7.4 volts, which is quite a bit. I was thinking if I was gonna make this faster, I would probably just ramp up the battery, just put a stronger battery inside it. But it's already pretty strong, so I don't know how I'm gonna do that. This part would just be the motor. And what's really interesting about it is, I make that move now. It's just one motor, and that same motor is actually moving all four legs. So now I'm gonna have a look a little bit deeper to work out how this motor is actually making the move at different times. So I'm gonna take one of these sides off. There we go. Hey, okay. Looks like one of those Star Wars things. Okay, so I think we've worked out how our different fingers or legs move at different times. So here's our motor, and it's attached to these cams on each side. Basically what a cam does is it, when attached to something else, turns a rotation into a linear movement. So we can actually see that there's cams on the side of this motor here, and the attachment for those cams are at different parts of the rotation. So essentially what you get is kind of like pedals on a bike or like a train movement. When attaching a linkage to the cam, that essentially just turns that rotational movement into a linear movement, which is awesome. There's actually something else really, really cool about this, was because if it's only one motor, how is it able to turn around? So if you have a look here, I'm going forward and then going backward, only one moves. And that's due to the really complex gears within this motor system. So the gears essentially on one side will clip and won't turn, and on the other side, they will turn. When I'm making it go forward, both of them turn. So essentially it's either both turning or just one. Pretty clever. Now I gotta put this back together and see if I can make it go faster. So now that we've put things back together, my original idea was to up the battery, more oomph, right? But it's actually already got a 7.4 volt lithium battery, which is a fair bit of power already. So instead, I'm gonna make it a bit lighter, which means all of this stuff, I don't need anymore. It also means that we're not gonna be able to control things anymore. We're gonna wire the battery directly to the motor, which, to be honest, an uncontrollable thing is probably a lot scarier. So let's try this. Let's see if we can make it faster. All right, after much struggling, we've got our skin back on thing, and it's time to see if taking all of the weight off is gonna make thing any faster. So we've put our battery inside, and time to connect with yellow to yellow and black to white. Okay, that was disappointing. I'm pretty sure it's actually going slower, which is kind of confusing considering I've taken all of this stuff off. So I think I'm gonna have to go back to what my original idea was, which is ramping up the voltage. Now, the reason I didn't do it in the beginning is because it could actually fry the gears. And there's a couple of safety issues as well with working with 9-volt batteries. So, time for the safety disclaimer. I usually enjoy fire and explosions, but 9-volt batteries and lithium-ion batteries don't cause the fun kind of explosions. No, but seriously, don't modify these. It's dangerous. All right, we're doing away with our measly 7.4 volt battery. And time for our 9-volt battery. Hopefully we don't fry the gears, but you know, it's science, so we've got to try it out. Okay, so in lane 1, we have got Thing Original. And in lane 2, we have got Thing which has had a bit of an operation. We're gonna race them and see which one goes faster. Are we ready? In 3, 2, 1, go! Oh no, Thing 2's turning. Yeah. Oh, Thing 1's turning as well. And racing towards the finish line is Thing 2! Oh. Well done. So we managed to make Thing go a little bit faster by upping the voltage, but it still didn't quite go as fast as I'd hoped. And thinking about it, it had all of those gears and cams and linkages, and more components add more resistance, slowing it down, right? And then you compare that to the human hand, which has got 27 bones, 34 muscles, and about 100 ligaments. No robot can really come close to that kind of complexity, which is why a lot of robots actually have wheels instead of bipedal like legs. Still pretty cool. And even though we didn't get it moving super fast, I would still be absolutely terrified if one of these things crawled in to my bedroom at night. I hope you enjoyed this spooky episode of Toy Teardown. If you can think of anything we could do with Thing, maybe we could add wheels or something like that, let us know in the comments. But until then, make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know what you thought of the episode. And